past several years in light of a shift in monetary policy and probably weakening U.S. situation given the low yields. For example, the pension funds in the U.S. are facing tremendous problems because of low rates, and entities like that are more likely to be sellers of equities on any rise and sell substantially on downfalls. So I think the emerging markets will have their time, but probably toward the latter part of this year to next year, as it becomes quite apparent that there's a major shift in capital flows occurring. Then I think the emerging markets will outperform.
Good speaking with you, Gurraj. Thanks very much for taking out the time and giving us your perspective on this developing story. It's really the big story of the evening. Mike, thanks very much for taking out the time and speaking to us from London. Really appreciate your views and your insights in the markets. But coming back home and talking about the Indian indices and how they performed today, it was a good close actually, above 8,200 for the Nifty, for the Sensex, a touch and go moment with 27,000. So all in all, I think it was a fine finish to an otherwise trending week, and the session also looked pretty nice, largely led by financial names. So yeah, the Bank Nifty, that was a key contributor. Had it not been from banks, perhaps the day would have been sluggish, but we're not seeing the kind of profit taking that one was expecting at the 8,200 mark, which is, which was touted as a bit of a resistance zone for the market. In fact, the markets have been consolidating well and closing at a 7-month high. Ajay, the internals, are they supportive of the move to continue?
Well, as we've been speaking today also we saw that the up move was actually very few stocks were leading to that. There is definitely some resistance coming in, and look at that, we sold off and ended near day's low. In fact, even the data points do indicate that there's unwinding happening at higher levels. Of course, for the week we have done pretty much about 2%, and that is why there was a lot of hesitation from the trading community to take positions overnight. Of course, there's RBI meet, which is lined up ahead. Today there was the jobs data, which could have thrown a big surprise. So people were avoiding, taking positions. FI flows have come back once again, while DIs were booking some profit. But index futures again, small 350 crore added in index futures once again. So at least the gains made so far are intact, but some amount of unwinding was seen during the session today.
Oh, yes, indeed. And Radhika Gupta joins in with a quick perspective on how she's seeing the market. She's the co-head of Edelweiss's multi-strategy funds. Radhika, great to have you in the show. What is your own market sense for the near term?
Have certainly stabilized over the last 2-3 months, and things are looking encouraging going into the monsoon. I take heart from the fact that if you look at the last quarter earnings at a BSE 200 level, you're seeing broadly about 9 to 10% sort of earnings growth, which is significantly up from the last quarter. In most of the pockets, maybe metals and banks in a couple of spaces, you are seeing, very, very meaningful earnings growth numbers. So that makes me feel, and valuations in the large cap space still continue to be moderate. So I think you may see some positivity from here going forward.
Right. Radhika, at your own fund level, what's your positioning between the long and the short? What percentage of the fund are you long on, and what are your shorts? Just to understand, how are you playing this market?
It's a great question, and I think actually as a fund doing both long and short, in this kind of market we're in a very good place because the market is really bifurcated, as I said, among sectors. You've got really good quality companies and sectors growing at even 15% odd numbers, and then you've got sectors that are degrowing. So long positions are close to 80%, and we have less short positions, but we have a nice diversified basket of shorts. They're obviously in different sectors, and if you look at it, the long portfolio is growing at maybe 12-13% earnings growth, and the short portfolio is actually degrowing. So in combination, it's a nice place to be at. The divergence in earnings growth is something one can take advantage of.
Right. So Radhika, you're not ruling out higher levels from here on because your longs are still more. Do you think new highs on the index is also not ruled out this year?
Yes, I'm actually bullish about the benchmark that reflects in our positions, more aggressively long than short. Can you hear us? Okay. Yeah. So that reflects, in the positions, less short positions, more long positions, very, very long biased. And I do see this year, pending any major global issues, being a moderately decent year for markets. May not be a 30% market year, but a moderate year.
Okay. What about global concerns? Can they take us back to recent lows?
Well, it is, the global situation is always tenuous, and the truth with these things is one does not know the biggest risk sitting here today. Today we are talking about Brexit, but we've had a Grexit kind of scenario before, and we've sailed through quite fine. And, in the past we used to talk about rate hikes as a source of worry. Today we are talking about rate hikes as a source of, potential positivity about the US economy. So no, it's not that the global situation doesn't worry us, but today there's nothing in our eyesight that can create a very, very large, nothing known to us that can create a very sharp downside for the market. Something is to happen, that's not something that one can forecast today.
All right, Radhika. Many thanks for joining us and giving us your perspective
Thank you.
on the markets and your view on the road ahead. But that's all about the world of markets. Let's step aside for a bit and hand it over to my colleague Krishna, who's standing by to give us a complete download on all the top national stories. Krishna.
Thank you, Tanvi. Time now for Nation Hour and all that's making news outside of the markets. A massive clash in Mathura has killed 24 people, including 2 senior police officials, and injured dozens of others. It started when police officers moved to evict members of a semi-religious sect who were illegally occupying the public park at Jawahar Bagh. The UP police had moved based on a court order, but were not prepared for what happened next. Encroachers armed with guns, knives and grenades opened an unanticipated attack, and the carnage followed. Akhilesh Yadav-led UP government has taken full responsibility of the failed coup and has ordered an inquiry backed by the Home Ministry. 124 arrests have been made so far. We have Times Now correspondent Priyank Tripathi joining in with more details on that with ground report. Priyank.
See, certainly the political blame game has started by BJP demanding a CBI probe in this matter. BJP, in fact, dared the Samajwadi Party government to initiate a CBI probe, and they have also alleged that the accused side were having political patronage and they were supported by some senior leader from Samajwadi Party. Although on the other side, there was a serious intelligence input lapse from the UP police side, although the DGP has said on record that they were very well aware of the fact that the accused are having possession of illegal arms with them, but they did not anticipate it, that things will go so wrong. The accused very specifically fired on 2 senior officials who were leading the team, and even after that, what local input are suggesting that it took UP police officials 30 minutes to decide that whether they need to open fire on the accused or not. More than 124 people have already been arrested, 25 lives have already gone, including 2 UP police officers who were martyred in this incident. But certainly what we are coming to know that BJP is once again planning to hold a massive protest in Mathura tomorrow. Back to you.
साधु संत के उनके प्रभाव में आकर के या उनके वजह से वहाँ धरना दे करके और सरकार की जमीन पे बैठे थे और कई सर्वे कई बार बातचीत हुई है, लेकिन उसके बाद भी वो हटे नहीं है। चूक केवल इतनी चूक भी है, और मैं समझता हूँ पुलिस को पूरी बातचीत और तैयारी के साथ उनसे बातचीत भी करनी थी और पुलिस पूरी तैयारी के साथ वहाँ जाना चाहिए था, लेकिन जानकारी में नहीं था कि इतना कुछ उनके पास होगा।
क्या वहाँ के डीएम एसएसपी पर भी एक्शन लेंगे?
अभी डीएम एसपी ने तो संभाला है।
देश में रोज पुलिस पिटती हो और ऊपर बैठे नेता पुलिस पर दबाव डालते हो कि अपनी पिटाई का मुकदमा भी दर्ज न करो, वहाँ सीएम पास कैसे हो सकते हैं? सीएम के बिना ये काम नहीं हो सकते। जो अपराधियों के हौसले बुलंद है, जो चारों तरफ भ्रष्टाचार है थानों में, प्रशासन में, वो मुख्यमंत्री की वजह से ही है। उनके बिना नहीं हो सकता। कहीं न कहीं आंख बंद किए हुए अपराधियों के प्रति वे।
Last 5 years, nearly 5 years have proved that Shri Akhilesh Yadav has failed the state of Uttar Pradesh miserably and completely. It's time that if security forces, if superintendent of police is not safe, if SP can be murdered in broad daylight, if SHO can be murdered in broad daylight by goons, gundas and mobs, then who will protect the ordinary citizen of Uttar Pradesh.
घटनाओं में संलिग्न लोग इस तरह से पुलिस और प्रशासन के साथ पेश आएंगे, ये मेरी उम्मीद से बाहर की चीज थी। मैं चाहता हूं कि दोषियों के खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई हो और उत्तर प्रदेश में जहां जहां भी इस तरह के रिलीजियस आउटफिट्स ने कब्जे किए हुए हैं उनको सबको खाली कराने का प्रयास उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार को करना चाहिए।
Moving on, the countdown for Eknath Khadse's ouster has started. Sources tell Times Now that the government may decide to remove the Maharashtra Revenue Minister in the next 72 hours. This, a day after State Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis briefed Prime Minister Modi as well as submitting a report to BJP President Amit Shah on the series of charges levelled against Khadse. There is also pressure from coalition member Shiv Sena that has sought Khadse to step down on moral ground. Times Now correspondent Kajal Iyer joins us now for more on that. Kajal, any idea on Khadse's whereabouts so far?
For all of Thursday, Eknath Khadse refused to say anything on camera, and on Friday he took it up a notch further, avoiding the cameras altogether and going to an undisclosed location because all of his houses in Jalgaon were empty and no one from his staff was picking up any calls. All of his PAs and his PROs said that they did not know where he was, or at least refused to say where he was. Clearly the pressure from the top high command is getting to him, and the high command has right now decided to go easy because they do not know what will be the impact if Khadse is asked to move out. They fear some sort of a rebellion within the state BJP, and also fear that he could take along some MLAs and also local leaders and corporators along with them who will resign if Eknath Khadse is asked to resign. And that is why they are waiting and watching as to what action could be taken, if at all, against Eknath Khadse.
एकनाथ खड़से का विवाद तो पिछले एक महीने से चल रहा है। कभी दाऊद से संबंध, कभी इलीगल प्रॉपर्टी, कभी इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट लैंड को कब्जा, और कितने सबूत चाहिए। लेकिन अभी भी अब आपको भी मीडिया को लग रहा है कि कुछ होगा, तो हम भी उम्मीद करते हैं कुछ होगा, लेकिन होने वाला कुछ नहीं है।
हर तरह से लोगों के सामने साफ हो गया है, उसको किसी तरह से टाल मटोल करना ठीक नहीं मानता मैं, उसे तत्काल हटाना चाहिए।
जो जांच प्रतिक्रिया करने की आवश्यकता है हम जरूर करेंगे, और जो निर्णय उचित लगे वो हम ऐलान करेंगे। मैं सिर्फ ये विनती करूंगी, कोई कंस्पिरेसी थ्योरी में न जाते हुए हमें सिर्फ ये धीरज रखना पड़ेगा कि हमारे नेतृत्व जानते हैं कि क्या है उचित, कौन से आरोप बुनियादी है और कौन से बेबुनियादी, तो उस हिसाब से निर्णय दिया जाएगा।
And with that, it's a wrap here on Nation Now. Back to you, Tanveer Gill on Smart Markets.
Well, thanks very much for that, Krishna. In fact, it's time for a break now. On the other side, macro forecasts from India Ratings and Research with their principal economist, Sunil Kumar Sinha. That'll be coming up in a minute.
Presented by Curl On, India's largest selling mattress since 1962.
Pt2of2 Fittings. Make furniture work beautifully. Pt2of2 Fittings. German quality you can trust.
The smartest investment decisions are made with the sharpest analysis on your side. Presenting India's first locality-based realty index, the Prop Index.
It maps price trends, rental yields, sales data and comparative analysis between cities to evaluate the better investment destinations.
Make smarter investment decisions with all of the information.
Tune into the urban debate at 9 p.m. on the 6th of June to know how to use the Prop Index to your advantage. Only on Magic Bricks Now.
ट्रिप्स वही याद रहती है जो एस्पो प्लान ना जाए। ऐसी ही ट्रिप्स के लिए JK Tyre Ranger Series with superior braking. Stop from 100 to 0 in 4 seconds. JK Tyre, total control. Get ready for the madness. Ab India karega trading. Free data win tablet, free internet and unlimited trading for ₹6666. F6 online.
Did you know golfers carry 14 different clubs to play the course? Each club can hit the ball different distances, varying from 100 to 300 yards. The 5th edition of the Louis Philippe Cup is here with an 8-city team pro golf league. The Louis Philippe Cup 2016, the greatest show in Indian golf with a total purse of 1.2 crores. Watch the Take Chennai team with SSP Chaurasia, Chikkarangappa, Kalin Joshi